And from Strike and Spare 2 in Lockport, Illinois, this is the PBA Celeste Walker Midwest Central Open. Good morning, everybody. From Lockport, I'm $2 Phil Brylow, taking you through our 3 rounds of play today. Starting off with our advancers round, the top 32 from yesterday advanced with their pinfall carrying over into this round. They will have 4 games of action crossing the house. Then we will get down to our top 16. Pinfall will continue to carry over for 3 more games. We'll make one final cut to the round of 8. They'll bowl 2 additional games, and then we will have our 4 stepladder finalists. That stepladder is scheduled to start at about 1:30 today. And some of these players on the PBA cheetah pattern really took advantage of it yesterday. Other players had some struggles and just crawled into this advancers round. We'll give you a full field rundown during Game 1. We'll let you know all the players that are in this advancers round field. Got a great mix. We got some PBA elite players. Got some of the best PBA regional weekend warriors and some up-and-coming college players taking the lanes here on a rainy Sunday morning here in Lockport. Good day to be inside, good day to bowl. So, William, to answer your question in the chat, originally it was supposed to be 36 players, but there were some late drops on the field, so to even out the advancers round, the decision was made, I shouldn't say we because I had nothing to do with that decision, but the decision was made to have 32 finalists in the advancers round this morning. All right, we are getting the pair feeds underway. Sorry for the slight delay on that. On 3 and 4, you have A.J. Johnson, Benji Martinez. On 5 and 6, Jace Meyer, Zach Wilkins. A.J. Johnson, your leading qualifier from yesterday, at plus 374. Benji Martinez plus 304. Zach Wilkins plus 293. And Jace Meyer plus 260. So our final advancers need to make up about 140 pins over the course of the morning if they're going to get out of these bottom spots, 31-32, and try to make their way into the top 4. For that stepladder. Stepladder time scheduled for 1:30 p.m. Central Time this afternoon. Let's get you over to 7 through 10. Kevin McCune, Brandon Caruso, Cam Crow, and Brian Tippett are your players on 7 through 10. Caruso comes in the morning at plus 233, McCune plus 230, Tippett plus 229, Crow plus 224. Yeah, recycle it again. For some reason it bumped us out, so set them all live again. I showed it live now, so sometimes it's going to take a refresh. Bro, check 21 through 24. It's not showing. Make sure that stream is on. Let's take you down on 11 to 14. Where your players are Ben Sobel, Scott McIntyre Jr., your defending champion Trey Heinrichsmeyer, and Nick Crummel, your 4 players on 11 to 14. Sobel, let's see, Sobel plus 213, McIntyre plus 198, Heinrichsmeyer plus 186, and Crummel plus 185 are the scores that they are coming in with from yesterday. Once again, pinfall carries over round to round. There is no match play involved in this event at all. One perfect game authored in the event yesterday by A.J. Johnson. And the other big game in the event yesterday, authored by Dio Bernard with a 299. Here on 15 through 18, we have the aforementioned Dio Bernard. He's starting off on 15 and 16 with Victor Cortez, Chris Prather, and fellow lefty Peyton Naback rounding out this foursome. So Cortez is your B, Bernard your A on 15, 16, 17, and 18. Prather is your A, Naback your B. Bernard plus 176, Cortez plus 175, Prather plus 174, and Naback plus 173. So you can see once we get down the field a little bit, we've got some tight spreads in the field. And that could really come into play considering with the round of 16, that leaves Naback in the 16th position. And he's the player everyone's targeting this morning. As we progress through these 4 games of advancers round competition, go back and watch Bernard try to pick up the super washout, and then we'll get over to our players on 21 through 24. 19 and 20 not in play this weekend, just because it makes a nice split in the middle of the house. Great cover there by Bernard on the super washout. Let's go over to 21 through 24. Bailey Maverick, Ryan Spear on 21-22. Darren Bloomquist, Jim Schroeder on 23 and 24. Schroeder authored a perfect game as well to help get him in the field. It was game 8 of A squad that Schroeder threw that yesterday. Maverick plus 164, Spear plus 161, Bloomquist plus 160, Schroeder plus 157. So this is going to be one of those mornings where it's definitely going to be an extra trip 4, an extra kick 10 out, or the make of a tough spare could be the difference between somebody advancing that round of 16. So I see the question in the chat from Lou. Yeah, Lou, if you want to watch a certain bowler, if you know where they're at, all the pair feeds are open. Open the description underneath the video that you're watching if you're not in full screen. You'll see all the links to all the pair feeds. We have every pair covered that's in play. So you'll be able to watch that. As Schroeder tries to stay perfect, it doesn't happen. Shaker 7. Let's take it on to our qualifiers on 25 through 28. Luke Switalski plus 157, Nick Dissinger plus 154 on 25 and 26. Over on 27 and 28, Sean Rash and Gage Blackford. Rash, your bowler A on that pair. Comes into advances round at plus 148, Blackford plus 146. Rash, late minute addition to the tournament. Close to home for him, so he decided to jump into the event. And he makes a visit to the pay window. How big is that pay window going to write the check for at the end of the day? Well, it's $3,000 for first place. So not a bad weekend's worth of work. Take it out by the time they're done. With only 19 games between yesterday's qualifying and today's elimination action. So let's say bomb this up. You're bowling 20 games. It's $150 a game you're making. That's not bad for 20 minutes of work. $150. It's $450 an hour. I'd take that and have zero complaints. $450 an hour? Darn right. Let's get the rest of the way through the field because we do have a player with a chance for perfection here early this morning. Corey Hersha, Nate Michalowski, Seth Lehman, Nick DeCesaro, your players here on 29 through 32. Hersha plus 146, Michalowski plus 143, Lehman at that same plus 143, and DeCesaro plus 127. And then over to our final advancers. Brandon Runk plus, I'm sorry. Yeah, Brandon Runk plus 126. Ty Knight plus 123. And Bobby Habetler plus 117. There's DeCesaro. I skipped somebody earlier, and I apologize. So DeCesaro, Runk, Knight, Habetler, your bowlers here on our final pairing. And it's Brian Tippett on the front 7. Up on 9 and 10. So when Tippett steps up again, we will see if he can take that all the way through the end of the game. As the 35-foot cheetah pattern not running away fast from Tippett. He's right on top of it this morning. You'll see him stepping up on the right side of your screen here, lane 10. And even though the scoring pace was a little bit lower on Cheetah yesterday than some had anticipated. I think this morning that we've separated the wheat from the chaff. We've got all the good germ in the building. The bowlers that succeeded well. I think we'll see a little higher scoring pace throughout the rest of the day and the rest of the event here on Cheetah for some of these players. Tippett wasn't happy with her for 50 feet, but he's happy with the end result. You see him shaking his head on the way back. Wasn't sure, but gets them all to fall, and that's now the front 8. Brian Tippett. Tippett comes into the day in 7th place at plus 229, so it's only 31 pins behind 4th place, Jace Meyer. It's early. It doesn't matter if you're in the top 4 after this advancers round. That just gets you more competition. You want to be in that top 4 after the round of 8. Make that step ladder and then try to do your damage match by match through that event. Will it hold for number 9? No, it held, but wrapped the 10. I wouldn't call it a full wrap. That was a half wrap with a side of fries there, as that 6-pin didn't do the job on the 10. For those of you double tabbing us again today, watching us here in the main feed, where we stick with the hot hands like Tippett. And double tabbing us watching your pair feed, we'll get you the lane movement for these players. As Crow wasn't happy with the release, but big smile on the way back. Hate to say it, but even if he strikes out for 216, he's going to lose pace with most of the players in front of him. Should stay in the top 16, though, with being in the top 8 to start here in the advancers round. So after the 4 games this morning, we're going to end all the YouTube feeds. We're going to start fresh every pair. Every round with fresh YouTube feeds all the way through to our stepladder.
He said he does not have one.
Okay, that's fine. What do we got?
He's going to print
Perfect. Yeah, I got the movement. That's perfect. Thank you. After this game, ask them how many they moved in the first game, how many they're moving, and then we can go from there. But I need to let people know here how many pairs are moving.
So we'll get that lane movement for you so you can follow your favorite player here in every round of competition. They managed to stay in. Let's see what McCune can do here. McCune looking to get to 236 for his opening game. Crow will be in the 2-team. Whoa, that's a shaky rack. Nope, Cam, you got to re-rack that one. That doesn't count against his 2 total, obviously. Let's check in with their leader, A.J. Johnson. As he has a chance to get to 249. Martinez had a chance for 258, but a missed single pin. In the 10th, it's 3 strikes, leaves him at 237. Johnson finished on this pair yesterday with his A squad qualifying. Finished with 211, and he's definitely going to improve that average on the pair. So they're going to skip 2 pairs and land on the 3rd here. For those of you following your favorite players on the 2nd tab. Skip 2, land on the 3rd. So the players you see here on 3 and 4 are going to move up to this pair on 9 and 10, where Tippett's trying to finish off a 279 game. And once again, with just 2 on a pair this morning, action's going to be fast and furious every round of competition. Ready to call on A.J. Johnson, 2nd strike in the 10th. So Johnson will improve his lead over Martinez. And you can just see right there, Tippett not happy. That first shot in the 10th. So skipping 2, landing on the 3rd. And we have 4 games of competition here in this advancers round. So player movement. And game 2 of this 4-game advancers round for the PBA Celeste Walker Midwest Central Open. Coming in from Strike and Spare 2 in Lockport, Illinois. Thanks to our host, Chris Watson, and thanks to our season-long 10 on the Deck Productions sponsors that help us bring you PBA Regional live streaming. This week, we're lucky enough to do it on PBA YouTube. Thanks to Tom Clark, Jeff Goodger, and all the pertinent PBA personnel, along with Bowl TV. Thanks for the rights release for this event. And we couldn't do it all season long without H5G Brands. They are the official merchandiser of the PBA. Check out what's new. Get your PBA swag at h5gbrands.com. And the PBA LBC National Championships, still room to get in. And if you're a Kyle Troop or Norm Duke fan, next weekend's your weekend at Bolero Mount Prospect, as both Kyle and Norm will be in the building for opening day, May 31st. Kyle will be bowling the 9 a.m. squad. Norm will be there for the opening ceremonies at 1:30. Come on up, even if you're not bowling, get a selfie, get an autograph from those two. And there's still time to sign up. Get your chance to win thousands of dollars, literally thousands of dollars in the tournament. Open Classic Division pays $25,000 guaranteed for first place. PBA.com/LBC tournament, where you get all your information on that event. Player movement, game 2 coming up next. Can't take you anywhere.
He was trying to do that. I just picked it up.
Yes.
Hit the bar.
Awesome.
All right, players have made the move. We're getting underway with game 2 here of this 4-game Advancers qualifying block. Your defending champion there, you see him, Trey Heinrichsmeyer, didn't have a good day yesterday, but then he had a great day yesterday. Kind of amusing because 4 of his games were less than 195. The other 4 of his games in the qualifying block were higher than 250. So, yeah, you talk about having an okay day and then having a great day, all depending on what game it was. Started off hot, down in the middle, had a good game again, down again, up again. So Heinrichsmeyer trying to take home the title for the 2nd year in a row. We'll get you an updated scoring after 9 total games, 8 games of qualifying yesterday. And the first game this morning, I'll drop the live scoring link in the chat momentarily. There you go. So when the update comes through in the next few minutes, PBA Midwest Regional Manager and today's tournament director, Toby Contreras, hard at work. The great volunteers here at Strike and Spare 2 helping to gather the scores so we can turn that information around, verify it, and get it out to you as quickly as possible. For those of you joining us from around the world, good to see Robin in the chat again. See, he's a big Darren Tang fan. Of course, Darren Tang now working on being a two-hander. There's going to be times where being a two-hander is definitely advantageous to Darren. And I'm sure there'll still be some times where we'll see Darren taking the conventional route of throwing a bowling ball of a single hand. I don't know if you can even call that conventional anymore. Nowadays, you go to so many youth bowling tournaments, and especially on the young men's side, you'd think two-handed bowling is conventional bowling, and that one-handers were the not so usual way to throw the ball. Now even on the young ladies' side, more and more young ladies throwing with two hands. Hey, whatever it takes to win. It's always been that way in sports forever. You do what you can to improve and win, or a lot of the times you get left behind. Only root for one-handers. Youth bowling coach rolling over in his grave. Somebody said that once too. Somebody said rolling over in the grave about two-handers, and somebody said, "Yeah, but in order to roll over in your grave, you need to use two hands to do it." And I'm like going, "Wow, that's a little dark." There's some dark humor in bowling on occasion. Oh, Bernard, before we can get a front four for Dio, the two-finger deadwood clear. Make sure all pins are out of the way on the pin deck. You can't have a pin in the gutter that could assist you with pinfall. Sometimes you see it in your leagues. You barely see the end of a pin sticking out, still laying in the back of the flat gutter or whatever. Technically, you throw a ball in that next shot, and any pin, even if it's leaving the deck, touches that pin in the gutter, it's a dead ball and a zero for you. So that's why you always see these players checking things out. Dio, we saw him yesterday on some pairs go to the backup ball, and he's doing it this morning. Streak ends at the front three. Just the talent these players have nowadays, being able to use all 40 boards on the lane. When one side of the lane isn't working, jump to the other side of the lane. And the ability to do that yesterday, even though Dio threw that 299 game off the left side of the lane with the standard left-handed hook. The efforts he did when he went to the backup ball, even though they weren't the highest scores of his day, kept him in play and helped him advance into this round of competition. Let's go check in on our leaders. You're going to see them over on 9 and 10. Meanwhile, our 31st and 32nd qualifiers right next door in 7 and 8 after they made the move off of 35 and 36. Johnson with the mixer. He's double spare strike, and you look at his reaction on the way back, you think he'd have 4 opens and not a clue on how to throw the bowling ball. That's certainly not the case, as A.J. Johnson is our tournament leader by how much at the moment. We'll find out when that scoring update comes out of the tournament office. Okay, so A.J. Johnson's your leader, plus 423. Benji Martinez second, plus 341. Zach Wilkins third, plus 326. So those 3 positions stay the same. Jace Meyer still in 4th, but Brian Tippett right on his heels. Meyer plus 295, Tippett plus 283. Sobel, Crow, Krupinski, Caruso, and McCune round out your top 10. The most important number right now, though, is 16th place. That being currently held by Nick Crummell. Crummell at plus 192. Scott McIntyre Jr. just 6 pins behind Nick DeCicero. DeCicero makes a huge leap with a 256 in the opening game. DeCicero jumps out of near the bottom to 18th place. Once again, we saw how tightly bunched up the field was from about 12th place down. Only 60 pins or so separating those positions, so we can get a lot of movement in a short period of time. Nate Mikulowski plus 168, Victor Cortez plus 167, and Dio Bernard plus 163. Bowlers just outside the top 16 at the moment. Other notables and their positioning are defending champion Trey Heinrichsmeyer in 11th, Chris Prather in 12th, Bailey Maverick 14th. Sean Rash, after a 217 opening game, finds himself in 22nd. Brandon Runk in 28th. So Habetler looking to move up the standings. He was the cut number after last night, and he's not going to get the 5th in a row. Checking on Chris Prather before Johnson throws. Prather not having a good time on this pair. Sitting on 75 with an open. In the 5th, strikes in the 6th. Prather currently flirting with that cut number. He's 15th at plus 174, just 1 pin ahead of his lane mate, Nabak, who is the number. And Nabak having some struggles. I apologize. Prather with 66 in the 4th, now a double. Nabak with the 75 in the 5th. Yikes. And that 6-8 is not going to help. And can Nabak stop the bleeding? Maybe. Oh, thought maybe you get that roller on the 2-pin. Doesn't happen. Let's get over to 11 and 12. As we've got a hot hand on the front 6. And that's Zach Wilkins. Wilkins currently in 3rd, looking to try to cut that deficit between himself and our leader, A.J. Johnson. And the 10 doesn't go. Those of you looking to follow the live scoring, when you get on that next page from League Pals, you're going to land on yesterday's qualifying scores. Where it says qualifying score in the middle of the page, hit the right arrow, and that'll take you to Advancers Round 1. It'll show you all the current scores. So you'll see that Wilkins had a 233 opening game and has a grand total of plus 326. Well, one thing we're seeing today definitely, as compared to yesterday, we're seeing more players with strings of strikes. Just got a report from our production assistant, Rogue Foppy. Got to give Rogue some proper credit here. She's keeping an eye on lanes, seeing a lot of pocket 9s ending strings for the right-handers. We just saw Brandon Runk. He's in front of our booth. I just saw him leave a pocket 8 off the left side. And, yeah, with the entry angles that are generated by these players, even with urethane on the 9-pin, it's wow, Wilkins airmails that 10-pin. Well, we saw Wilkins with a single pin miss yesterday, and then he nearly went sheet after it was done. So apparently he just needs to piss himself off in order to throw more strikes in a row. We'll see if that holds true again today. Let's check back in with our first and second place bowlers momentarily, Johnson and Martinez, after Meyer tosses here in his 8th frame, gets them all to go. So Benji Martinez looking to put 278 on the board, needs to avoid what plagued him in game 1, which was an open frame in the 10th. The problem is he might only make up 20 pins at most on A.J. Johnson, because if A.J. goes off the sheet, A.J. would have himself 258. And with my bowling math, with about a 82 pin advantage for Johnson at the moment, as he comes in the right side of your screen. Martinez will need to cut that deficit about 4 more times at this rate in order to pass AJ for the lead. I mean, no lead is safe with this many games remaining in the event. There's still 7 games of bowling to go between the 2 games remaining in this advancers round, 3 games in the round of 16, and 2 games in the round of 8. But there's plenty of room for somebody to catch up to A.J. Johnson. And I think it's going to have to be catch-up, because watching A.J. throw the ball all weekend long, I would put odds on it's not A.J. giving a lead back. We'll get back over to Wilkins as Jace Meyer spared in his foundation frame. Johnson looking to put the big finish on here. Let Martinez know that it's going to take a lot more work to try to catch up to him as the tournament progresses. Flush for AJ. AJ just came back, throws a great strike, and just goes so frustrating. That's heart of a champion right there. The little things you know you need to fix, to make adjustments to stay in the lead here at a PBA event. I don't care if it's a PBA Major Championship, a PBA Regional, or a PBA Junior event. There's some players here this weekend that got their start with PBA Junior, now bowling PBA Regionals, like Bobby Habetler there. And I mean, obviously Bobby's bowled a lot more events than just PBA Junior, but it gives you that taste of competition that, you know, you get to experience as a professional bowler. Up, we mentioned the 9 pins. And AJ leaves one there. And that's that's where the so frustrating comes into play. You think you made enough of a move on this cheetah pattern as semi-wrap 10 for Wilkins. You think you make enough of a move to take those 9 pins out of play. And they still manage to appear. I think AJ's left more 9 pins than 10 pins so far this morning. So our players between games 2 and 3, for those of you double tabbing, you're going to skip 3 pairs and land on the 4th. So our leaders that you're watching here are 9 and 10. They are going to be going up to 17 and 18 for their next game. So skip 3, land on the 4th is your movement for between games 2 and 3. Hey, another 9-pin. There's a surprise. Over to Wilkins. Gets the finish for 237. Caruso having some struggles. He's going to drop back a little bit, but he'll still stay ahead of the cut number. He was at plus 235 coming in. And Jason Meyer not happy with that release, and you see why. 3-pin left. So once again, players are moving 3 pairs, landing on the 4th. And we've got the halfway point of this advancers round. Game 3 coming up next for the PBA Celeste Walker Midwest Central Open. Here from Strike and Spare in Lockport. Once again, I want to thank our season-long sponsors for the 10 on Deck Productions regional live streaming for the PBA. That is the PBA LBC National Championship. Sign up now, pba.com/LBC tournament. And the official merchandiser of the PBA, H5G Brands. Get your PBA swag, H5G brands.com.
No, he's here. It's just it's details being details. Toby knows about it. This should only be the top 32. Right. Yeah, it's details being details. Oh, but it has 9 games then. So that's right. Yeah, it's this should say 205. Right. This is 180. Well, that should be his average. But yeah, for some reason, he's higher than +1. Oh no, he had 205. He came in at 117. Right. This is weird. Dio's throwing back as well. All right, watching. So at least the Facebook post last week. It's hilarious. I know, it's just, it's great to see it, but everyone is just, because they panned in. So there's a very good help. How many people are watching right now? Not a lot. Couple hundred. It's early. West Coast isn't even waking up yet, so
They can pick any pair they want, right?
yeah. Yep. So the pair by pairs right now. Yeah.
32. was the number? 22 and 10? That's why we went to one spot on the national tour. It was that reason. Like AJ was supposed to bowl B. He switched to A so he could watch his cousin play, which I don't blame him. I subbed out Friday night, but I could not bowl B squad. I already had a prior engagement. I didn't even know I could bowl A squad until Friday.
Sean Rash just stopping by the booth, and just to let everybody know, once again, no matter what you see in his hand this weekend, the hand is a free agent. Actually, the rest of Sean is a free agent as well. Speaking of Sean Rash, he's coming off a big 278 game in Game 2. So he's going to move inside the cut number. As we are into Game 3. So we'll stick with Sean for a couple of frames here. And, of course, as soon as I start talking about him, Booth Curse, flat 10. Get you a 10 game scoring update momentarily, as 8 games from yesterday, 2 games from today. JB in the chat, the contract between Sean and 900 Global recently expired. I don't have details if it was going to expire, if other factors made it expire. I really don't care. I just know that it's expired. I just know that Sean Rash is doing what Sean Rash thinks is best for him and his family. You want to talk about a man who wants to always make sure his family is first and foremost in his life. That is Sean Rash. Sean's dad, Gene, mom, Diana, here watching his favorite support group outside of his wife and 3 girls. And once again, love him or hate him, you might not like what he does, you might not like what he says, you might not like the personality, but you're going to watch when Sean's on. And coming in the booth now, I don't want to say color commentator yet because I don't want to put that much pressure on you, but during this summer, if you're bowling the PBA LBC National Championships, it's going to be part of the production team, Rogue Foppy, in the booth. Rogue, successful bowler, She's bowled some PBA regionals. You took up the sport not too long ago either. It was within the last 5 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, just about a little bit over 6 years now.
Okay. And experience in all facets of the industry. You used to manage a bowler's mart in Northern Illinois, and now you've returned to school. You're getting into broadcasting. You're getting into media. And what do you think, not to put all the pressure of the bowling world on top of you right now, but I'm going to, what do you think about what bowling could do media-wise to maybe help improve its image, other than great live streaming from people such as myself?
Honestly, I think it's just having it more accessible to people. I feel like a lot of times bowling is not easy. So when I first came into bowling, the PBA was on Flow, and that was not easy to be able to watch it and stuff.
Yeah.
Bowl TV chat has made it easier. People like you have made it easier to be able to watch more, because sometimes people only see the step ladders. They don't see all this other, the bowling that leads up to the step ladders. And a lot of times the more interesting stuff happens during qualifying, during advanced rounds and stuff like that. And I think it being more accessible, and all of the ball brands have done a wonderful job in promoting more, and each of the players have done a wonderful job in promoting more, and it's slowly getting there.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I always have to keep in mind, because I'm not going to give my exact age, but I'm definitely old enough to be a parent to someone of your age, is that, there's so many other outlets out there for bowling to be seen. And I always pound myself in the head remembering, like, Darren Tang has over 150,000 subscribers. Brad and Kyle, 150,000 subscribers. The House, over 100,000 subscribers. And what these players are doing to get the sport of bowling, get that reach going out farther and farther. And it's not just about what's on TV, and it's definitely not about what's in print or on a blog or that type of thing. Bowling, everything in this world has become much more visual over the last 10 or 15 years. And with you being a college student, working with me and stuff like that, a lot of the focus with your studies has to deal with what's out there, social media and visual. There's really not much in the way of actual print that you're doing with these programs, and I think that needs to translate a little bit more sometimes into the bowling world. And I think some of us in the older generation, some of us that would be PBA 50 members, need to remember that on occasion, that things like this or things like the House, Darren Tang, that type of thing, are really helping to get the reach of bowling out to the people that can help grow this game again. And that's people that are your age and younger. So
I think another thing that's helped too was Darren and Jesse on his YouTube channel helped start doing more of, when he's doing ball reviews, labeling down lane and using typography and the text stuff and labeling, okay, this is the break point, this is the arrows, this is where I'm looking at. And I feel like, in all honesty, that type of stuff helps make people of all calibers of bowling understand it and appreciate it more, and understand that, hey, bowling's just not rolling a ball down lane.
Right.
It's all these different aspects of it.
Yeah, and I think one thing, and I've been a champion of this for a long time, and back when I was running youth events in Wisconsin on TV, that type of thing, always, whenever possible with sponsorship, made sure that the prizes awarded to female players, even though the top prizes, at least for the female players, were equal to what was awarded to the male players in events, because I think sometimes young ladies in this sport feel left out. Yes, they have more opportunities when they're younger collegiately because of NCAA programs that are possible, but now some of those are starting to be cut. We've seen Stephen F. Austin cut their program this past week. NAIA programs, we saw Weber International cut their women's program recently. The opportunity is there for women, but they're kind of underrepresented in a lot of areas of the sport, and that's one of the reasons why I'm glad you're here, because helping out, producing at these events now, is that they get to see that it's not just throwing a ball down the lane that can get you somewhere in bowling. There are women that run pro shops like you used to do. There are women that work in bowling media. There's women that manage bowling centers, and that we can't just grow 50% of the sport. You just can't focus on the male side of the sport. It has to be all-inclusive for everyone, and that's why I'm glad you're on board with us here for the summer. If you see Rogue during the PBA National Championship Super Bowl, make sure to say hi to her as well. You can't miss her.
You can't miss me.
You
I
can't
have
miss
orange
Rogue.
hair. You can't miss me. And crazy socks. That's two things I'm known for. You can't miss me.
So make sure you say hi to Rogue if you know her. Follow her on social media. She does a lot of stuff with Dog Tags Bowling, which is a great supporter of our veterans. So Brian Ducey I saw here. Follow Dog Tags Bowling as well. They're one of the groups that, Bowlers to Veterans Link is huge. We see a BBL veteran on every PBA telecast. And, it's not just, a few bowling events that help BBL. It's everybody doing it. And Brian Ducey, one of the people in the sport that are really helping bring the sport back to veterans as well. And veterans don't have to be 70, 80 years old. They're not from Vietnam or World War II or Korea anymore. There's so many troops that are sent by the U.S. all over the world that come back. And, we need to give them the moral support and the outlet to have fun with their friends and family, and bowling, it really does that. So I'm going to kick Rogue out of the booth for a little bit because we got plenty of bowling to go on. We'll talk to her again a little bit later this afternoon. If you get questions for Rogue, throw them in the chat. We'll throw them at her a little later today, and she'll answer most of them for you. She's not giving out phone numbers. She's not giving out autographs. If you see her at the LBC, take a selfie with her. I think that's more than allowed. So, and hey, Rogue, I just want to thank you for coming on board with 10 on the Deck Productions, and we're both working for the same goal. Let's get this sport of bowling growing back again. Thanks, Rogue.
Of course.
Scoring link is in the chat, that LeaguePal web address. And once again, when you land on that page, it still shows the qualifying scores. Next to the word qualifying scores, there's a couple arrows. Hit that right arrow so it gets you to advance around one. A.J. Johnson still your leader, plus 470. Benji Martinez second, plus 419. Zach Wilkins third, plus 363. Brian Tippett, we saw the finish to his big game in game number 2. Tippett, so far this morning, a pair of 254s. Gets Tippett in the fourth at plus 337. Jace Meyer fifth, plus 303. Heinrich Meyer, Spear, Crow, Bernard, Krupinski round out your top 10. Let's take a peek in, see if Bernard's still throwing the backup ball that he was throwing earlier. Right now your cut number, Nick Crummell, at plus 214. It's actually a tie with Ben Sobel. And they got a few pins of an advantage over Bailey Maverick at plus 192. Nate Mikulowski plus 191. Curry Hirsch at plus 187. So you see Crummell getting ready to step up in his foundation frame. Once again, another 9-pin, the foil of a right-handed bowler this morning on this 35-foot cheetah pattern. Try to get a string going. Don't keep up enough of the transition, and all of a sudden that ball slices a little too aggressively through the 1-3. in the 9-pin stands. So Bernard looking to finish off with 234. If he can catch all three in the 10th. Thanks everybody who woke up early this morning to join us. I know a lot of you already have your reminders set for the step ladder later today. Scheduled start time 1:30 Central Time for that start time. And it'll be a 4-player step ladder as Dio continues to use all 40 boards. There is no re-oil during the competition prior to the step ladder as Kreml gets a little payback for that last solid 9 with the trip 4. So barring any ties, we'll be able to stay on time with our YouTube feeds. You're going to get a new feed for each round. Albert, yeah, just open up your description on this video if you're not watching full screen. And it should have all the pair feeds in the video for each round. Do what you can to survive, and that's definitely what Dio Bernard is doing at the moment. Crummel 216. Yeah, that's going to keep him near the cut number. Might not keep him inside it. But yeah, the middle of that score sheet, middle of the standing sheet, I should say, definitely nice and tight. Nothing wrong with a little excitement on a Sunday morning here at Strike and Spare 2. Once again, I want to thank Chris Watson and his great staff here for bringing 10 on the Deck Productions in. And I want to thank our season-long sponsors with the PBA LBC National Championships. Still time to get in. PBA.com/LBC tournament for your information. If you're a Kyle Troop fan or a Norm Duke fan, get to Bolero Mount Prospect next Saturday as Kyle Troop will in the opening squad, 9 a.m., and Norm Duke part of the opening ceremonies at 1:30 p.m. Get some pictures, get a chance to talk with your favorite players, and hey, still time to sign up and bowl, win some of the hundreds of thousands of dollars of prize money. And I hope that wasn't me that threw Sean off there when I accentuated a point. He's right in front of the broadcast booth. Sorry, Sean. PBA.com/LBC tournament and H5G Brands, the official merchandiser of the PBA. Get yourself some great PBA swag. Hey, beat the rush. This is the time of year, if you're looking to get a new custom jersey designed just the way you like, this is the time of the year to do it. As Sean gets them all to fall. Yeah, beat the rush. Get it done. Work with the designers at H5G. Get your design done your way with the official merchandiser of the PBA, H5G Brands, at h5gbrands.com. Once again, we appreciate everybody taking the time to share on social media that you're watching the PBA for free today here on PBA YouTube, and Sean just did not come out of that one well at all. So he's talking to himself on the way back. So he's going to max out at 215 this game, and this 2.457, not exactly the easiest spare to make. He's going to fire the polyester right at it, picks it up. So the player movement this game, it's a big one. They skip 5 pairs, land on the 6th. So you're going to see Sean Rash and Nick Dischinger go to 21 and 22. You're going to have our leaders with A.J. Johnson and Benji Martinez up on 29 and 30. So we're going to give you a little audio intermission here for player movement and our final game of advancers round. Coming to you from Strike and Spare 2. For the PBA Celeste Walker Midwest Central Open. I'm $2 Phil Brylow taking you through the championship match today. Once again, thanks to the PBA for letting us stream to the YouTube channel for this event. This is the 10 on the Decks production. And thanks again to Bull TV for letting 10 on the Deck Productions access the rights to this wonderful event. All right, as we're just getting into Game 4, player movement. This pair started first. We'll get that game rolling. There's Dio rolling from the right side again. This is I love this part of the game with these young players that are not scared of any part of the lane. There's 40 boards out there. They're not afraid to use all of them. And one of the coolest moments of my broadcasting career was being on the call in Delaware in 2019 when Anthony Simonson, late in the tournament for the Gene Carter Pro Shop Classic, went from the right side of the lane to the left side of the lane with a backup ball and rode that all the way to the Gene Carter Pro Shop Classic title. And it was even a little more fun because my color commentator that day was PBA professional Graham Fa, a lefty. There you see Dio hooking into the 2-5, taking the chop possibility out of play. I mean, that's the thing is these players get better and better at using all 40 boards. Spares that we'd normally chop, odds of that getting reduced. Appreciate the thank yous in the chat. Hey, thank the PBA for getting us on PBA YouTube. Usually with the 10 on the Deck Productions live streaming, we're usually on that particular region's Facebook channel, and then we stream to a third-party site for all of our pair-by-pair feeds. Which can be a little difficult to navigate, but we got to play by the rules. Bowl TV sets for us, but we had the PBA do a little extra negotiation with Bowl TV once we obtain the rights here at 10 on the Deck Productions and have it on the PBA YouTube channel. And hey, do me a favor. I appreciate the thanks in the chat, but throw it on your social media. Let your family and friends know that they can watch some of the best on the PBA Tour. Sure, we might not have an EJ Tackett, a Belmore, or a Jesper here, but we've got A.J. Johnson, a Chris Prather, Sean Rash, Zach Wilkins. We've got Theo Bernard. We've got a lot of PBA elite players here this weekend, and let your friends and family know they can watch for free on PBA YouTube. Every little bit, every number we can get to help us show bowlers are interested, bowling fans are interested in watching regional events on PBA YouTube. I'm hoping it's the more of them we can stream for you. So it's good to have that great working agreement with Tom Clark and the rest of the gang at the PBA. Hard to believe that 11 years ago, started with Extra Frame. Seems like more than just 11 years, but it's been a good 11 years. I'll tell you that in the bowling. With Extra Frame, with a couple of years with Flow Bowling, and then the pandemic hit and started planning for the future and created 10 on the Deck Productions, and now not just with live streaming of events, including PBA regionals, but also, come on, that 4 doesn't go for Dio. We're going to check in on our leader, A.J. Johnson. They're just underway. Those are the players that were in your top 4 this morning, with Johnson, Martinez, Wilkins, and Meyer. Yeah, it's we've got television in Milwaukee. We've brought TV back to the airwaves, the broadcast airwaves on a local CW sister station. CW, of course, is going to be broadcasting 10 at PBA championship rounds in 2026. I don't think that's the end of the announcements we're hearing about the PBA on television. I'm guessing there's going to be more to come. I don't have inside knowledge or anything, but I'm guessing it's going to be more to come. But yeah, spread the word on social media. It's appreciated, and then that way, as I said, I'd love to be able to do more PBA regional events in the fall. Late summer, early fall. The next 7 weekends, I'll be at the PBA LBC National Championships. I handle the live streaming for the PBA there. You get to see every frame, every game, every pair, every squad, every bowler on the PBA YouTube channel during that run of the LBC National Championships. So if you can't make it to Bolero Mount Prospect next Saturday and you'd like to watch Kyle Troop bowl on that opening squad at 9 a.m., we'll have every pair covered for you, and you'll be able to watch every shot of Kyle Troop as he tries to set the pace in the PBA Elite Division. That Elite Division, of course, being one of 8 divisions of competition for the PBA LBC National Championships. For our younger players, there's the boys handicap and girls handicap divisions. For bowlers of all abilities, there's the men's and women's handicap, the Open Classic, Senior Classic, and Women's Classic divisions as well. Those Classic divisions are all scratch divisions. $25,000 guaranteed on top for the Open Classic. Trey Heinrichsmeyer, former winner of that Open Classic division. Won it as a youth player, took that money in scholarship. As Benji Martinez just misses the 2-pin. $5,000 each in the Women's Classic Senior Classic, men's and women's handicap guaranteed, and for the younger players, guarantee of $2,500 in scholarship money for the boys handicap and girls handicap divisions. Like I said, it's not too late to sign up. PBA.com/LBC tournament has all your tournament info. Let's see if we have a score update. For 11 games. I'm going to drop the live scoring link in the chat right now. Once you land on that page, you'll have to, where you see qualifying at the top of the page, hit that right arrow, get you into the first advancers round. And we're still waiting on an 11-game update. Should be within a frame or two. As that competition round, that 16th place number, that's how many we're taking into the aptly named round of 16. That's how many players will go. There's a tie for that 16th spot, like we saw after Game 10 between Crummell and Sobel. We'd have a single game roll-off to break that tie and see who advances. Johnson looking to double here in the third frame. Keep that lead out over the field. Hey, look at that, another 9-pin. Some of these players have definitely left more 9-pins than 10-pins this morning. I have no doubt in my mind A.J. Johnson is one of them. For the right-handers, I'm sure a 9-pin might be a nightmare for them tonight. See what Wilkins can do here. Looking to add on to the string, which he successfully does. Wilkins now with a 5-bagger. Oh, I love a production assistant that's on the ball, has my score update for me. Thanks, Rogue. And we've got A.J. Johnson still in the lead, but that lead dropped down by 14 pins. He's only up by 70 over Benji Martinez, plus 496 for Johnson. He's still averaging 245 on the event. 722 for A.J.'s first three this morning. Guess what Benji has for his first three this morning? 722. So that's the 70-pin difference we saw at the end of qualifying. Zach Wilkins stays in third, plus 391. Tippett in the fourth. Stays in fourth, pardon me, plus 368. Few pins back, Trey Heinrichsmeyer in fifth. Let's go to Heinrichsmeyer coming into your screen right now, working on a 5-bagger, make it 6 in a row. Your defending champion in fifth at plus 307. Spear, Caruso, Meyer, Krupinski, Crow round out your top 10. 16th place right now, Nick Crummell, Chris Prather, 18 pins ahead of Crummell at plus 248. Crummell at plus 230. Crummell's got a little cushion over Michalowski and Hirscha. At Nick Michalowski at plus 205, Hirscha plus 185. Victor Cortez at that same number. Cortez not having a good morning, as he only has 10 over for his first 3 games of competition. So Heinrichsmeyer keeps striking as he tries to get back in the top 4. Now, last year here at Strike and Spare 2, we were on the scorpion pattern, 7 feet longer when we took down the title. Or I shouldn't say we. Heinrichsmeyer did it on his own. We just covered it here last year. And another player that's making a big move, Dio Bernard. Bernard's got himself into 11th. He's been using the right side of the lane. We'll check in with Dio in just a second. So I know we're scheduled for 10:15 for our next squad time. Obviously, pace of play, we're running a little long here. So we will still be ending all the feeds at the conclusion of this advanced round competition. We'll restart with your round of 16 feeds. You'll see those also on the PBA YouTube channel. So it'll be a very short break on the feeds, 5 minutes or so, but it may be a few minutes longer as scores are verified, bowlers are repositioned for their next round. There you see Bernard coming in your picture, still bowling off the right side of the lane as he's going to finish with the game in the 250s. And we'll see Bernard in the round of 16. So Nathan Michalowski, close to the cut number at plus 205, 25 out. He's not having a good game 4, not pacing to get there, but Heinrichsmeyer pacing to get himself into the top 4 in one game here. Heinrichsmeyer's games already this morning. .236, .254, and .231 coming in. And now looking to put .290 on the board here in game 4. As we mentioned, Krummel's the number at plus 230, but Krummel having a solid game. One would think if Krummel gets the first one in the 10th, that should keep him in for sure. Obviously, if he punches out for 248, he's definitely staying in, especially with the padding he has. He's 45 pins up on Hershey and Cortez in 18th and 19th. So I don't see either of those players shooting perfection. Actually, Cortez can max out at 240. Yeah, so Cortez isn't going to have enough. Heinrichsmeyer just keeps rolling. And we'll stay here with Krummel since he's on the number. I think any mark by Krummel, and he's going to be safe and into the round of 16. Yeah, Cortez 245, but just that only moves him up to plus 230. Krummel already there now, which is showing up in the 10th frame. Well, good place for that for Heinrichsmeyer. I hate to say good place for it. There never is, but solid 8 is going to leave him at 279. Should move Heinrichsmeyer into the top 4. If not, he's definitely going to stay in 5th. He does have about 60 pins to get to 4th place, but he'll definitely be creeping up on him. No, another 9 pin. Let's see if we can get a look at Corey Hersha. Trying to see where he might be from the booth, and I do not see what pair he's on. We'll try to get a report on Hersha. So right now, Kreml spares, which he does, gets 28 onto his plus. He'd be at plus 258 overall. So Corey Hersha would have to throw 274 the last game to get past him. And let me check out Lane Talk scoring and see if anybody is on pace for shooting 274. So Crummel plus 256. He was the man on the number. Well, Head Battler front 6. Premise for Had Bettler. 146 game 3 this round. Ended any chance of him making the round to 16. Runk signals safe. Bad last game for Chris Prather, 177. That's going to back him out of the number most likely. Chris already wasting no time taking the wrist tape off. Back-to-back opens in the 9th and 10th frame for Prather. Couldn't get anything bigger than a double going through the first 8 frames. Those back-to-back opens just got him. Check in on our There's Corey Hirscha. Ugh. Yeah, Hirsch not going to get there. Hirsch is actually going to be in the 170s too as well. So you might still be in, sir. There's a couple of guys backing out. It's going to be close. As Prather asked about the numbers, he's walking by the booth, and he might end up being it. He had a big enough cushion. He had 40 pins over the number. Mikulowski doing nothing. Hirscha doing nothing. What Cortez finished with 245. So Cortez is going to get 230. So Prather, he's going to get ahead of Prather. Crummel at 226. So Crummel's at 250. Yeah, so it looks like Cortez in, Prather out. Heinrichsmeyer had 279, so he'll be, yep. So unofficially, Victor Cortez is going to be the number at plus 230, fully unofficial. But we're going to have to turn this around, so we are going to start new streams for the round of 16. Here at the PBA Celeste Walker Midwest Central Open. Our scheduled start time is 10:30. We're going to be real close on that. So take some time, grab yourself a late breakfast sandwich, refresh your beverage. Some of the notables you're going to see in the next round, along with A.J. Johnson, Zach Wilkins, Benji Martinez, Sean Rash, Jace Meyer, Dio Bernard, and more. So we'll see you in about 17 minutes back here at Strike and Spare 2 for the PBA Celeste Walker Midwest Central Open. Well, we can't be mean and end the stream while somebody's on the front nine. I mean, let's be honest here, even though he's well back in the field. We're going to give Bobby Habetler's chance to shine. May not be the end of the weekend Bobby Habetler was looking for, but when you're going out on a high note, you're going out already on the front 9. You know you want to finish it off. Make it all happen. Habit will be up in just a moment to try to shoot perfection. All right. Coming up on the right side of your screen, there you see him peeking in. Bobby Habetler. Looking to end his event with perfection. We know he'd rather be ending it. Up. That's not the way to end it. See you at 10:30.